Yo, 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 what up? Uh, yeah, man. Trying a new video messaging forum instead of Zoom. We shall see how this fucker works. Vegas, what up? Lamont, what up? Let me play some music until Carrie shows up. Or Nice. Or both.
All greatness, the majority of greatness in itself doesn't come with goodness. The two don't coexist with one another. And all great men are not good men. Just your power. Just your power. Just your power.
Yo, I just noticed since I'm trying to use Skype messaging instead of Zoom, I just noticed that it's got everything's flipped backwards for some fucking reason on this. Why the fuck would they do that? Anyway, Lamont, yeah, Pittsburgh. Yo, George Pickens. Absolute stud. Looks like they hit another one draft pick, especially wide receiver, out the fucking park. George Pickens slipped because of a ACL or an Achilles issue. I can't remember which one. But slipped to the second round, but you have to look at second round wide receivers over the last couple years. DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. There's a bunch of studs. McLaurin, Scary Terry. A bunch of studs coming out of the second round, so you don't necessarily have to be a first round pick in the NFL as a wide receiver to be a stud. But the current trend of the NFL is for first year wide receivers to come in and start getting busy immediately. So I don't expect anything different from this particular class of rookies now. I don't think there's any way for me to switch this the other way around. This is so stupid. Anyway, yeah, enough about that. Let me play something else. Yeah, no, I wasn't playing in that tournament. I just attended it. It was ridiculous. Beef. What up, Beef? So, yeah, just waiting for one of my esteemed co-hosts besides the Wolf to show up so we can talk about this week in NFL training camp happenings and whatnot. I'm like finally over the hump of the poison sumac incident, which reminds me, I got steroids to take. So, anyway, Judy or Sutton. So, no, I am not a Falcon fan, Lamont. I am a Roger Harper fan. And Roger Harper is one of our co-hosts who played for the Falcons, Cowboys. Short little stint with the Saints. And, you know, that's my motherfucking homie. I told him I need that. I needed an official Roger Harper jersey. And he sent me one. And it's the only thing I will ever wear whenever we're doing this show.
My suit game was crisp, silk linen chiffon, Dior to Diodora, but I rock custom more. The hustler aura, tap in, razor cutter, 90s, 80s lover, razor gutters.
What's good?
Yo, so next week I think I may try it. I might try to use Skype.
Oh.
Well, because you don't have to have Skype to be on the call.
I actually do have it. So that's why I was like, I was updating it, and I was like, oh shit, all right, let me get my shit right.
Well, the only thing I don't like about it is it switches to everything's backwards.
What do you mean?
So it looks like it says 74 instead of 47. It's really fucking weird.
I got you.
But it's like, you know, it's free. You don't have to actually have Skype to join the call, and there's no time limit. So I was just like, oh, let me try this shit. We might try it next week, but I figured you might have been looking at it like, this is weird.
Well, yeah, I hadn't been on there. You don't get too many. Let's link on Skype.
Well, I ain't been on there in forever, but I looked up like the best alternative for Zoom meetings, and Skype stepped up their conference meeting games.
They did. I've actually been using it. That's why I remembered my password, because I had to use it not that long ago.
But I ain't want Nice to get confused, or Roger if he pops in, because last week we had a Nice sighting.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Nice popped in for the whole fucking episode, so it was hilarious.
Good. Yeah, I was like, oh, I texted you. I was like, oh shit, today's Tuesday. I was out to lunch. Yo.
Well, it's like I didn't even know, but like all of a sudden I just saw somebody join the chat, and I was like, wait a minute, there's no fucking way that's Nice. Now that Zach Wilson is out for like 4 weeks and Micah Becton's out for the year, I don't know if we're going to hear from Nice today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so Becton is confirmed out for the year.
Yes, separated patella tendon, done for the year. That's 2 years in a row. He looks like he's one of those guys who's just not going to be healthy. It's tough when you start out missing 2 years in a row for you to get off that injury bug.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, at least Tony Baselli gave you about 5 years where he was, doing his thing.
Yeah, Micah Becton never got started, so.
We got started, I know.
And then, Wilson, that's a non-contact injury, so they were like, oh, shit. And it ended up being a PCL, so 4 weeks possibly. Not going to be ready to start the season, so they're already talking about Joe Flacco start because he's been looking good in camp. And I already cursed Nice out on Instagram today and was just like, I fucking hate the Jets because now I have to talk about Joe Flacco. Thanks for this.
That's real. But yo, they re-signed him for a reason.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew when he went back, I said to myself, Joe Flacco's gonna play this year. I knew it. I didn't know it was because of injury. I knew he would play though, and it's like he's gonna be playing early.
Yeah, interesting. There were rumors of Sam Darnold making a return to the Jets, which was just hysterical to me.
That's just
But that also, lets you know that Baker has taken a hold of that job, which we all assumed he would, just be healthy. Tyrod, what up, homie?
But has he though? Because, I mean, I saw Sam Darnold throw a touchdown. I don't really mean shit.
Yeah, we don't get to see what happens in camp.
Right, this is true.
See, they've seen practice and, and whatnot. So, before we jump into things, so I just started the Gray Matter Pick'em League, so you'll get that invite to join. And then I started a Gray Matter Fantasy League also, so I figured you would definitely want in on that one.
Already know.
And, Colton, like my brother will jump in. So we'll see if we can get 10 people in it. Yeah, guys, if you guys want to join in, everybody watching, join in on the Gray Matter. This will be our first year of having a Gray Matter Fantasy League. The draft will be live at 9 p.m. next Thursday, which is our normal, or next Tuesday, our normal time. So we're just going to have our draft live.
That'll be what's up. I'll finally be done with these.
Well, I figured we're already blocked out for that time anyway. So, everybody who watches this or participates, we do this anyway, so we might as well just draft real quick.
I'll be done with my joints then too. I'm doing two books right now. Oh, they are kicking the shit, dude. So, I mean, we talking about 2 to 4 hour audio files for one chapter. So yeah.
No thanks. No thank. No thank
I
you.
need better lighting. Hold up. Let me get my lighting situation together. I'm looking like I'm straight out the dungeon right now.
Yeah, man, you gotta get you one of the ring lights.
Don't you worry. I'll look it up.
So, I'm also waiting for whenever the NFL Legends fantasy draft is, because whatever time that is, I will. Oh, speaking of the man, Lamont, you want to know why I wear a Roger Harper jersey? This right here is exactly why I wear a Roger Harper jersey. Because Roger Harper just joined.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, you gotta get his camera situated. See, this is why I went. This is exactly why. Yeah, it's my motherfucking homie.
What's happening?
Football season is upon us, homie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yo, so it's funny because Lamont was literally just asking me. He's just like, "Yo, are you a Falcons fan?" I was like, "No, I'm a Roger Harper fan."
That's what's up. I'm a 333 fan.
So this is exactly why I wear a Roger Harper jersey when we do this show. So, Roger Nice popped in last week. Carrie, what the fuck? Yo, I thought you was just about to do a fucking audition, like a read real quick. You just emerged from the shadows, all dramatic and shit.
And I got my own production company over here now.
Roger Nice randomly popped up last week, so Nice is in the fold, but Zach Wilson's out for 4 weeks with a PCL injury, and Micah Becton's out for the year, so we might not hear from Nice this week.
Wow.
There we go.
Too bad for the Jets.
Yeah. So it's looking like, every year there's that one team that has the injury bug. Right now, the Jets are the front runner.
That's a bad thing, boy.
Yeah, you don't want to be that one. Yo, Roger Harper, how you been, homie?
I've been good, man. I'm glad to be here. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Looking forward to catching up and learning from the best. We got, you know what I'm saying? You guys are great, and I'm glad to be a part of this show, man.
Oh, man, it's good to have you back, man. This is how I know football season is right around the corner, because we're all back.
For sure.
Let's see. I wasn't even prepared for this, because I was trying out Skype real quick, and I did not even, pull up talking points this week. First preseason games. Biggest takeaways. For me, George Pickens is a stud.
Yes.
Stud.
Yes.
And
Grabbing that. Don't give away no strategies. But yes, I have my eyes on him.
he's a stud, which makes Chase Claypool completely almost expendable because Deontay Johnson is a beast.
Well, also, this should give Claypool a break because that dude Like he can't go as many places. He injury prone. We seen that. Like Claypool to me is starting to remind me of Al Toon. Al Toon made amazing catches all the time, but then he always got hurt. So yeah, so like George stepping up, that's gonna help Claypool's career. His numbers will dip, but his longevity should expand.
So Kerry, I knew this was going to happen. We fucking do it. We called it. One of the 4 horsemen of the NFL apocalypse has come true, as it always does. So Tyrod Taylor is now getting reps with the ones for the Giants. This is the only way that Daniel Jones can salvage his career, is to back up Tyrod Taylor to start the season.
What did I tell you? I told you. Tyrod's on the team. Tyrod's getting snaps. Period.
Malcolm Butler just went on IR, so I don't know what happened to him, but he's out at least the first 6 weeks of the season.
That's some hoodie shit right there. Hoodies. You went to another team. You thought I forgot? I sat your ass in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so
Get on that IR.
This is now. Let me go back to this Daniel Jones things, because we predicted this to happen, but B, this is literally the last chance for Daniel Jones. If you can't back up Tyrod Taylor and be a successful NFL quarterback, you'll never happen. It'll never happen.
Done.
Yo, Roger Harper, Tyrod Taylor's backup quarterbacks, the last 8 have gone on to have solid or spectacular NFL careers. If you back him up, you're going to have a great year, including Davis Mills for the Texans, who had a really good rookie campaign.
You might win a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco.
Josh Allen. Like
It just happened.
the list just goes on, and his whole career, he starts in front of somebody, gets injured in some freak accident by week 3, and then whoever backed him up goes on to have a great career.
But he keeps getting jobs. You know why? Because people like him.
Well, they also know about the apocalypse thing, so it's just like, I think the Giants watched this show and they're like, listen, this is the only chance we got with Danny. If this don't work, nothing's going to work.
So I know that kid out of Kentucky, the quarterback. Got my eye on that kid. He's good. Big, mobile, got an arm. Keep my eye on him. Forget his name right now, but out of Kentucky.
So, Roger Harper, the biggest thing that, the first few weeks of the season, training camp, and now, see, we made it through training camp. So the other injuries that are going to happen are when it's really full speed, week 1. And then maybe into week 2. And that's kind of like those injuries that happen because your body wasn't prepared for the torque and whatnot. They're done. So
we still got a couple more preseason games, so let's not.
No, I know, but I'm saying mostly they're not going to get a whole lot of reps.
Yeah, those starters aren't going to get no reps. They're going to be on the back end, relaxing and getting ready for the season, first game. It's short preseason, too.
Which, how do you feel about that, Roger? Because I know that I would want to get tuned up. I mean, at least give me the 4th game. Like, I don't want to go to the first, like, play some of the third, like, give me 3-4 series in the 3rd game, and then I play none in the 4th, and then I play the following week. I want to play in the 4th game and then go into the next. So whatever I need to work on, I figure that out in the last preseason game, and then I could be ready for the first game.
Mm-hmm. I think that takes away from, them getting prepared, getting their bodies prepared, the banging, and things like that. But with this short preseason, it is what it is. People want to see the game. Want a longer season, so it is what it is.
So,
No more preseason? Oh, that's right. They shortened it.
3 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks now. So, Lions are Hard Knocks team this year. And they are very physical in practice early. But Dan Campbell also stated that he'd rather those, because as a football player, you got to get used to getting hit again and into the contact and the timing of it. He's like, I don't want that to be week 1. I want my guys to already be ready to go. Me, the way I think about it, knowing that the way that injuries happen in football, and the biggest group of injuries are the guys who prepared at one speed and level in the off season and then came into camp and stepped up and got hurt. That's usually the injuries. So I would want those guys out of the way. I don't want that to happen in week 1, 2, and 3, because now you're scrambling already into the season and flow of things and plugging holes. Like Jensen getting hurt for the Bucks. Happened on the first day of practice, within the first hour. Yeah, that really sucks, but now you're literally starting the whole season knowing he's out with your backup getting reps and getting going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it helps that there's 17 weeks now. You got an extra week to stretch things out and whatnot. Eventually it's going to be 18, and they'll have 2 off weeks, which will help. With the IR being down to 6 weeks.
The way they did the PUP and IR, that's way better. Instead of losing a guy for the entire season, you just do 46 weeks.
6 weeks is great because now you don't have to waste a roster spot. Because if they're not going to increase the roster, which they still keep it at, what is it, 40? How many is it on game day? 40 something?
For players?
Yeah.
43.
43 on game day, so that's really small.
Mm-hmm.
That's a small game day roster considering everybody only plays one position.
Yep. 22 players, you got the backup for each one.
And then special teamers, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those backups, like the D linemen and linebackers and whatnot, they play multiple positions so that you can have extra roster spots filled in for wide receiver depth and O-line depth and whatnot. So when you see a team carry 3 quarterbacks, you have to question yourself,
The Niners have 10 running backs.
Well, with the 3 quarterbacks, it's just what are you doing? So right now, the Steelers are in that position because Kenny Pickett is now taking reps with the ones. We know he's going to be the starter sometime into the season, if not week 1. Mitch is going to be the starter if it's not him. So Mason Rudolph, the Steelers have said they're not going to get rid of him. Well, that's just eating up a roster spot.
Well, also, let's think about it. For IP, they also lost Dwayne Haskins, so that quarterback room was,
Yeah, but I wouldn't carry 3 unless it's when the Patriots carry 3 because they knew they had Tom Brady, and they're like, well, we want to keep him around. He's not ready yet, so that's why they had 3 quarterbacks on the roster that year. They didn't put him on the practice squad. They just left him.
Really, there's no clear cut. You don't have a clear cut stud at quarterback in the Steelers, so you kind of want to kick the tires on all 3.
Yeah, I know, but I just I hate Mason Rudolph.
Right, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Can you trust Pickett is a rookie? They call him Maserati. I call him Mazda Mitch.
I'm money making Mitch.
Yeah. And then fucking helmet head. So yeah, Kenny Pickett is going to be your guy. So you just want to keep the other 2 for injury.
So roster's a big cut down. Today was the first day of roster cuts from 90 something to 80 something or whatever. You guys, let me see. Anything else from preseason week 1? I'm going to go through these and see if there's anybody worth talking about. So,
well, I saw some interesting. I texted you about that. I saw some interesting faces pop up in this preseason. Thaddeus Moss, Randy Moss's kid, who should make it in Cincinnati since he played with Joe Burrow and he also played with Jamar Chase. I thought that was dope. Devin Funchess, who,
back.
Wow, he jumped back in the league.
He's a tight end now, though, correct? Didn't he just accept being big? Yeah, I thought he accepted being a big body and just said, "Nah, I like to eat. I'm a tight end now."
Yeah, and he wasn't that fast. He just was, big body. So that was cool. Yeah, because I think he could make it as a tight end. I think so.
Well, that's good. I know the Colts had multiple injuries at wide receiver. So they're going to have people in and out of camp trying to fill.
And let's not forget, Antonio Brown is not retired yet.
I saw that, Jerry Jones called me. And then he did his dance.
What?
Oh, man, that guy.
He said, hey, what did they asked him something else. He said, yo, Tom Brady, I'm still open. I was just like, what is he? This guy is so talented and so.
Also, if you think about it, he has a connection with T.Y. Hilton, who's also on the Colts. So,
I could realistically see Odell. I could see Odell going to the Colts.
Yeah, especially with that owner, Jim Irsay. It's not that far back.
Yeah, but I can see Odell going there first once he gets healthy.
Okay.
But Odell has the benefit, the silver lining to his injury right now and him not being in a camp is he can wait until there's an injury and some team really needs him, and then go get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he doesn't have to leave the Rams.
No, but knowing Odell, that whole Allen Robinson thing, because Allen Robinson is going to eat up a lot of balls now.
You don't think Odell could start over Allen Robinson?
No.
You don't think Odell thinks he can start over Allen Robinson?
Yes, I think he thinks he can.
Okay.
Can he realistically at these points in their NFL career? No, because he can't stay healthy. And Allen Robinson has been beasting in camp. Dominating DBs. And it's just like, oh, see, he was in terrible quarterback situations his whole NFL career.
Yeah.
Now he
balled with Blake Bortles.
That's what I'm saying. He got busy. And Allen Hurns did too.
Allen Hurns did too. He's out of the league now, but he did.
But Allen Robinson did, and then he goes to Chicago and gets stuck with that fucking train wreck of a scenario up there. So it's just like, and he still got busy up there, and it's just like now he's got another chance, got a real quarterback. But let's stay on the Rams because I have personal experience in this scenario. Kerry, we talked about it. Roger Harper, starting quarterback, tendonitis in his elbow already. We're in week 1 of camp.
Damn, that's a bad thing. Tendonitis. That's something that affect him for a long time if they don't take care of it now.
So
He's trying to earn a spot, trying to earn a roster spot too.
So the whole throwing motion, yes, is going to hurt, but the most difficult part is actually squeezing the football because the tendon is actually connected to your thumb, so you can't squeeze the ball. It's hard to hold things. Roger Harper, I had that in my left arm because I played way too much fucking golf and I was swinging very violently. I couldn't hold anything with my left hand. I could still swing a golf club because it's my shoulder, but I literally couldn't squeeze my left hand. I got cortisone injections into my ligament, which is what they're going to do with him, right? That lasts for a few weeks. When you get it again, the effectiveness time period shrinks.
Exactly.
And you can only get it about 5 or 6 times before they're going to stop giving it to you. The second time I got an injection, it was stem cells. I was on the golf course 3 days later, and my elbow is never hurt again. That's what he's going to have to do. Now,
like Christopher Reeves. I feel you.
Kerry, he's very religious, though, so I don't know if he'd be down with the whole stem cell thing. Him and his wife are like...
Well, I mean, she did survive, like, what, brain cancer?
Yes.
Like that.
So, this is, Roger, this is the same thing.
It works.
This is the same thing that Peyton Manning had to go to Germany to get done when he had the neck fusion because they didn't have stem cells in America yet. So he had to go over to Europe. He had to retire, go to Europe because then he's not violating any NFL league rules or anything, get it fixed, then go to the Broncos, who were just like, yeah, we think this will work. And it did. They won a Super Bowl. It worked. And the crazy part is, in all of his retirement and everything else, he's going to have Broncos uniform on and not a Colts uniform. He played there for fucking 14 years.
I love it. You know what? I love it.
Tom's going to do the same thing. It's all going to have. It's going to be Bucks everything.
I love it. I love it. Good.
The only one who went back to their old is Brett Favre because he played for like 8 teams, so he had to go back to being a Packers.
Wasn't going to retire a Jet, not with the dick pics.
Joe Montana went back to retirement, was a 49er.
That was only right.
But had he done that in this time period, they would have considered him a Chief.
Yep.
Because that's the way it works now. It's really weird. Nobody. Well, Gary Jennings got cut from the Chiefs. The only reason I even know who that is, that's a WVU receiver.
Okay.
He's the one who played with the feather in his head, in his helmet. Dude, he led the NCAA in catches his senior year. He always had a feather that he stuck in his fucking...
Reminds me of David Sills, who's currently still a Giant.
That was his other receiver at WVU was David Sills and then Gary Jennings. Gary Jennings led the NCAA in catches, though. He just got cut by the Chiefs. So, Colts with no receivers. Give this guy a call. Demarcus Robinson got cut from the Raiders. That's another guy that's probably his last chance at the NFL.
Really?
Yeah, man. How many times is he going to get shots in camps, though?
Wow, that's a little surprising.
Also, me and Nice, we were talking about it last week. The Chargers defense now, Roger Harper. They added Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. J.C. Jackson's the best cover corner in the NFL right now. And they add Khalil Mack to go with Bosa, Derwin James, and Asante Samuel Jr. We also thought that they had Kaiser White from WVU because he likes to knock people out. Kaiser White now plays for the Eagles. Who that just makes them even better because that guy is a thumper.
I know. The Eagles are going to win the division. I told you
Yeah.
that already.
Austin Prohl got cut. There's a legacy guy that probably won't get another shot.
Yeah, you will. Cardinals. Go to the Cardinals.
I can see that happening.
Why not?
I can see that happening. So, Roger Harper, there's the thing with, I don't know if you saw this with Kyler Murray and with his contract where they mandated 4 hours of film study.
Film study? Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think that's an insult to him, man.
Is it?
For real.
Yeah, I think that's an insult. They gave him all this money, but then they want to. Who else was getting mandated to go watch film? That's some bullshit.
All right, so this is his own doing. All right, I'm going to give you three things to hinge on. A, this is a $100+ million deal guaranteed. That contract's going to be 150 pages long, so it's going to have everything in it. B, he did an interview where he said, "I'm not one of those guys who watches a whole lot of film. I don't really spend hours in the room studying my opponent. I just kind of see it as it's happening. I see a lot."
That was the wrong thing to say, but go ahead, keep going.
And then 3, and this is a statistical fact. All right, you know he's a professional video game player also on the side.
I heard about this part.
Yeah, so every single year when Call of Duty comes out, the Cardinals go on a losing streak and he starts to suck. Every single year from that date, the Cardinals season has fallen apart from whenever Call of Duty comes out that year.
Wow.
This is why they did this. 4 hours, Roger Harper, that most professionals watch 4 hours of film before practice starts.
Mm-hmm.
Especially a quarterback.
Exactly. If he wants to be the best and he wants to win a Super Bowl, he's going to have to do what the greats do, playing video games and eating popcorn and shit and bullshitting around ain't going to get it. And playing on your athletic ability ain't going to do it.
I wonder if they mandated that if he plays video games, it has to be Madden, and they have his playbook in the game, like the Cardinals.
That's stupid.
Not as a quarterback. That's too much of a mental load for you to carry, for you to be doing anything else.
Especially being the leader of the team, too. What the hell?
Yeah. So I think having him do that on the sidelines, calling plays, that's good. Especially he needs to do that. He needs to be more vocal because, I've always said this about him. He makes a bad play. He goes to the sideline. He's isolated by himself. I hate his body language. I hate it. I'm like, you're the leader of the squad. You can't do that. Can't do it.
Yeah, the only way that you can team build like that is because he's always played Call of Duty is if his wide receivers play Call of Duty also and they're all on a team and now they're not watching film and practicing. It's just like there's nothing good. As a professional, yeah, it is very insulting that they had to mandate 4 hours of film time. But, he brought that on himself. You brought that on yourself, man. Teams have been through the Jamarcus Russell experience where they spent $100 million on a quarterback who literally never watched film because everyone knows the story. They sent him home with blank tape and then asked him if he was watching film on blitz coverages, and he said yeah, and they were like, there was no film. And he said he was watching film on blitz coverages and blitz packages. They're just like, then they knew, this guy doesn't watch any film. Of course he doesn't watch any film. I think it's nuts to be an NFL quarterback and not watch film. That is insane to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Because the measure of one thing that Dan Orlovsky said about Justin Herbert, how he knows he's an elite level quarterback is, and Joe Burrow also, is they don't get fooled by the same thing twice in one game. And he says you can go back and watch things that fool Kyler Murray will fool him again later in the game and then again later in the season. So he's not learning and implementing at a quick enough level.
Think about Mac Jones too. You don't get fooled twice.
Yeah, so these are guys who study and whatnot or are mentally prepared for what is going to come at them because it's like, yeah, you have this game plan, But once you see what the defense is doing, because defenses are so complex, they don't react. They dictate. There's blitz packages, stunts up front and whatnot. So you're not just waiting to see what the play is looking like and then reacting to it. You actually are pressing the gas pedal. So, I mean, defenses are watching film all fucking day on Kyler Murray in the offense. How are you not watching film? That'd be like you being a professional boxer and you not watching any of your opponent's fights ever. Just be like, nah, I'm good. I'll figure it out on the fly.
Yeah, don't work in the field.
Oh my God. That is absolutely insane to me. But he did do it to himself. I did see, there's the first one. I did see a list of top 10 quarterbacks by some professional outlet, and for some reason they had fucking Dak in the top 10. I mean, there's a lot of empty numbers. So the eye test is you have to pass that first. The actual statistics from a football game don't really matter to me. That's why I kind of like QBR, because plays that matter matter more for your score than garbage time.
Sure.
So it's a better indicator of who actually played better when it mattered instead of just garbage time, which there's a lot of empty numbers in football. If you're up, you're not blitzing anymore. You're just trying to get the game over with, get the W. A lot of empty stats, especially passing-wise. You'll see a quarterback lose a game that they were down by 3 or 4 scores and have 350 yards and like 3 touchdowns. And just like, you do that over and over and over and over again, that's a lot of empty numbers, and that happens a lot.
Oh, you mean Kirk Cousins? Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is the face of underperforming metrics.
But always has great numbers at the end of the season. It's great.
I mean, even his interception numbers are low.
Yeah, so I'm saying he has great numbers at the end of the season. It's great.
But he's one game below 500 for the year, and for his career, he's literally at 500 right now.
All the time.
So I mean, it's just, Dak, I don't see it as a top 10 quarterback at all. I can think of 10 easily that I would put before him. He's top 15. He's going to be right there behind them. I also think the team around him has also allowed him to play higher than his own usage would dictate somewhere else. If he goes to a terrible team, I don't think he's going to keep putting up the same numbers.
I actually think he needs to run more. I think so.
Well, you knew last year he was going to be gun shy on running last season.
Yeah, but he was also trying to really also limit himself from running even before that. So, and he doesn't need to be. He was too young in the game to be limited his game like that. Like, it's not like he was too. Like, you saw how Aaron Rodgers, he ran quite a bit early on in his career. Now we see he'll run when he absolutely needs to, or when he just sees something, he'll see it and he's like, well, I could pick up a quick 10. That's why I was so surprised he didn't do that in the NFC Championship game, because he'll normally do that. But I don't know. He's limiting his own self.
I mean, I don't like it when a quarterback does that to themselves. Like, I'm going to prove to you that I am a quarterback. I'm going to stand in this pocket and make these reads and these throws.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just like, yo, dude, just play to your strengths and win the football game.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. Because he's a better runner than Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes is better because he does it more often. Like, he knows when to do it and he'll do it.
Russ is the master of running when necessary.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the times, Russ will run so that he gets to a pocket where he can stop, see if he can still throw it, and then there's that last-second decision where, fuck it. He's so hesitant to run. Dak has always, I think he's always been trying to prove, no, I'm a real quarterback. He's one of those guys that he has to prove it. And Jerry Jones, with his contract situation, not wanting to pay him like a real quarterback, didn't fucking help.
Yeah, true.
They really...
I don't think he's a running quarterback anyway. I mean, he's not that great of a running quarterback to me anyway.
He's not, but he can. He's not Tom Brady. He's not stuck back there.
If you saw him at Mississippi State, that's what he did. I mean, he used to truck people too. Like that was a main part of his game.
Yeah, like Jalen Hurts style. If I'm running, I'm going to run through you.
NFL carry shit.
Well, I mean, this is true. But what I'm saying is, I mean, he not like he was going to be trucking people, but I'm just saying, early in his career, when he did run, he was a problem. Like, he was problematic, and he did it in his first year and his second year. His third year, he tried to pull it back a little bit, but he was problematic when he took off.
Well, injuries caught up with him too, though.
Always does. So, only a few notable cuts, only because we know them by name. The Niners cut 2 of them. First, Robert Mdeke.
Oh yeah,
Mdeke. Yeah, that guy he just never lived up to his billing at all. And then Darquez Denard got cut, and that's got to be it for him.
Yeah.
6 years in the league of getting shots, and it just never worked anywhere. That was a first.
Well,
that's a first round pick that flamed. That nothing happened with it. See, that's what I'm talking about with these draft picks.
Well, I mean, who's still getting shots? Who would we surprise? Oh, homie from WVU, who no one knew how to use. Who's returned now?
Yeah, for the Eagles. The quarter. I can't remember.
So,
yeah, but 6 years. Homie from WU was like 3 years into no usage really, and then kind of turned it on. 6 is a lot.
Yeah, 6 is a lot,
especially for a corner.
Yeah.
You know, like aging as a corner is at least twice as much because every year these guys that you're covering are all younger and faster. You're never getting faster. Yeah, you don't get faster, and they stay the same speed.
You got to play going backwards. That's the disadvantage too. You know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Kerry. That's one bad thing about playing corner in the NFL. All right, so I'm going to end this one and send you guys a new link. We're going to stay on Zoom. I'll see you guys in about 1 minute. We'll see who pops in first. Now it's a race. All right, Roger Harper back in the fold. That's always fun. I knew as... Oh, why is my computer acting like this today? I hate it when it does this. It won't let me get down to the dock for some reason. So then I have trouble getting... There it is. So stupid. Anyway, I knew Roger Harper was going to be back in the fold. So, Andrew, send me your email, and then I'll email you the link whenever we go live. My email is joetheengineer@gmail. I do not have one for gray matter. Although I probably should. Let me buzz through and see if there's any notable injuries. Lately, Keelan Cole did have a knee injury. That's just another Jets injury. I think the Jets might be the injury bug team of the year, which sucks. Well, hilarious for us. But it also sucks because that means we won't see a whole lot of Nice, because once the Jets are irrelevant, Nice gets busy doing other shit, and we don't hear from him very often. Roger Harper with the quick draw. I don't know what it's like to be a fan of a bad football team, so I don't know what Nice is going through right now. Yo, Roger Harper, what's it like to be a fan of a bad football team? I don't know.
I have no idea. I grew up a Steelers fan. We was winning.
Well, you also went to Ohio State, which has been
Exactly. So
perpetually good. So, like,
right.
I was a fan of the Niners as a little kid growing up, and then I've been a Patriots fan for almost 2.5 decades, and they've been one non-playoff season in the last like 23 years. So I don't know what it's like to be a fan of a bad team. I don't know what Nice goes through on a week-to-week basis.
I know that's right. Shit.
Oh, you know who we can ask what it's like to be a fan of a bad team?
Who cares?
Yep.
Giants. Bullshit ass Giants.
Oh, he's going to love this one. Hey, Kerry.
You.
What's it like to be a fan of a bad football team?
Well, I mean, I've been a fan of a bad one for quite a few years now. So you could have asked me that last year, the year before that, the year before that, even the year before that.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I had to ask because, the Patriots have been 2.5 decades of winning. Roger Harper is Ohio State mainstay. They're perpetually in the top 5, beginning and end of the season. And Nice isn't here to vouch for being a fan of a very, very bad team.
I mean, they're historically bad.
That's
At least
that's what I'm saying. The G's will pop up randomly and win a Super Bowl.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. We're not a bad franchise, but we go through stretches where it's stupid. Well, that's also because when you have ownership and an ownership philosophy that stayed in-house and familial for decades, for generations now, they get stuck into this same kind of mindset. So we've ended up passing on players who could have kept our franchise steadily going to the playoffs, but they didn't want to make those moves. So that's why they need these guys with this fucking particular resume and background and all this nonsense, and it's an outdated thought process on how you should really build a roster. So
I mean, as
why.
a college football fan, WVU is kind of like perpetually not good. They're like the Giants. Every once in a year, there'll be a national title conversation for a couple weeks, and then they'll disappear. But I don't really care about college football. I just wouldn't. I've asked Nice for at least the last 15 years that I would not look down on him if he abandoned the Jets and became a fan of a different team. Remember, Kerry, we did this.
Yeah.
He was a Seahawks fan for a couple weeks.
Seattle, because of Ross. Yeah, that was his guy.
And then the Seahawks were talking about getting rid of Russ, and then it happened, and then he had to go back to the Jets. So it's just like, damn, man. Nice is back with his ex again.
That just happened recently, did.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Listen, he might want to look to Jacksonville. I mean, I told you before, like, Jacksonville, I'm gonna keep my eye on them.
See, I won't be mad if he's like all on the Broncos this year because he is a Russ fan.
Yes, he is.
Jacksonville didn't like shit the first preseason game.
I get that, but I mean, they finally have a legit coach now, so who actually knows how to utilize his players.
Also,
so, essentially, I think Travis Etienne is back. He was running well. I don't know. I'll keep my eye on them.
Also, Roger, I know, speaking of bad franchises, I know the Lions have been terrible since inception. But don't sleep on the Lions this year at all.
Who's the quarterback? I forgot.
Jared Goff.
That's right. He did all right. He started coming through at the end of the season.
Yes, he did, but their team is like, it's a team. They have like a team. The guys are all in on the Dan Campbell experience. They all have the same mindset, and they did play competitively last year, even though their record was terrible. It wasn't like the Jags, who were only competitive in like 3 games. The Lions were competitive almost weekly. Mm-hmm. And honestly, there were at least 4 or 5 games that they actually should have won. Justin Tucker hit a 66-yard game winner. Are you fucking kidding me? 66 yards?
Great. That was great.
You lose on the longest field goal in football history. Like, come on, they lost games like that.
Yeah. But that's how you feel like.
I was saying there was several games they lost less than 3 points or less, you know?
Yeah, so that's a competitive nature, and that's going to, if you carry that into the next season, they're going to win. They might win like 9 games.
Mm-hmm. And especially these young players, because they're a team that's really relying on a lot of young players. And when you have your head coach doing up downs with them and actually doing more ups downs than them, they're like, oh shit, if he's willing to go ahead and do that, I got to step it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's like really tapped into their minds, and like they're willing to run through a brick wall for him.
So what the Lions need. So their head coach is a galvanizer. He's a leader. You can see it. Yeah. But he's not, if you watch anything that comes out of this man's mouth, he's not a real X and O's type of coach. Vrabel is a leader. Vrabel is also a leader guy like that, but Vrabel's also a very football X and O's guy. The Lions need
Josh McDaniel.
Yeah, exactly. He needs that football, idiot savant to come in and do the football things, and he can just do the meathead things because it's working. It's working.
He needs him a Sean McVay.
Yeah.
He needs a Sean McVay on the spot.
Yeah, it's he's really staffed his team with ex-NFL players, which is awesome. Get them into coaching and whatnot. But how many ex-players who had very long careers come in and do like coordinator things and excel quickly as like an O coordinator? That's a tough gig. You got to like build into that. So he needs to like you said, somebody that was like a quarterback's coach, wide receivers coach for like 8-10 years underneath another offensive coordinator. It's probably out of the Shanahan system, like McVay and the coach for the Niners now and then the coach from the Dolphins all came from the whole McVay umbrella.
Yep.
So it's interesting. The NFL is definitely trending younger. So Roger Harper, if you're an NFL vet, how would you feel if you got a new coach and the coach was like 33?
First thing he would have to do is earn the respect of other players in the locker room, especially those guys that's been around that are seasoned vet, 5-10 years, some 15 years. Earn the respect they have to earn that respect from the coach. That'd be the first thing. And then just follow his lead and having the confidence in him. So I think that's would be the approach to that.
So, Kerry, it's like the guy for Miami, the coach. That's like a numbers guy. He's never really played football. Now, McVay was a quarterback. Shanahan was a quarterback. Most of them were quarterbacks, at least in college somewhere, right? This guy down in Miami, you could tell, this guy has never actually played football. He looked like he played Madden. So it's going to be interesting. As a player, I know, especially in an NFL locker room, it'd be hard to earn somebody's respect if you've never been on you would look at him like you don't know what this is like. You haven't done this. You don't know. Especially
been in the trenches.
Yeah. Especially if he starts talking about, listen, guys, we're in dynasty mode, all right? He starts talking some Madden bullshit. They're gonna look at him stupid. But I mean, the way he can earn, I would say he can earn is if he calls some plays, like he gets them in situations. First of all, to show them that he trusts them. Remember when I said what Ron Rivera did against the Giants a couple years back, when he had them go for the win, and even though they lost the game, I said he just changed the whole temperature of that team. That team is forever changed now. And then they were. Then they played different and hard and crazy, and they made the playoffs. He's going to have to do some shit like that, especially when you have high-profile players like Tariq, who has won a Super Bowl. So you can already see if shit's not going to go well early, he'll be the first one who starts chirping, especially on his damn podcast. And then you got young studs like Waddell. They really need to see what's going to happen with Tua. You got Kasicki, and then you got those guys on defense, Christian Wilkins. So he's going to have to like show them that he trusts them to win the games, and he's there to support them. And I think he'll be all right.
All right, so we see the whole umbrella. It starts with Shanahan when he was in Washington, right? Younger Shanahan under his dad.
Yeah.
When his dad got the gig the second time, he brought his son on. That's when he put his son on. Son had offensive success. They had numbers success. Son, everyone deemed him as a guru. They've said he's a guru, whatever. He was under his dad. Zone blocking scheme, whatever. We get it.
Also fucked up RG3, but that's a different story.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. So then he goes and gets a head coaching gig in San Francisco. Now, we talked about this last season. San Francisco has stuck by him, even though they have not really won anything since he has been their head coach. At all. So they're still rocking with him. And then
Chip.
And then
Got there.
Then everyone underneath of him, after getting there, McVay went to, and he got a gig and then was instantly successful with the Rams, numbers-wise, and now he's got the title to prove it. And then it's like everyone from them, that's the new tree, and McVay's the only one who's actually gone and done something so far. And now he just re-signed Kerry, where everyone was talking about him going to the booth and pulling a Gruden, getting a Super Bowl early, being like, yo, I'm done with the pressure of being a head coach. I'm going to just go get $25 million a year to talk about it. But he just actually re-upped past this season, which is past the run-it-back season. So even if they don't win again this year, which with that elbow issue, they're not going to go back-to-back. It's going to be impossible. So he's definitely coming back no matter what. Now, if they don't win, which they're probably not going to, Aaron Donald might be like, nah, I'm good. Aaron Donald also might pull a Gronk and be like, yo, I'm good, and go sit out for a year and then come back. Because he'll still be young enough to get busy and dominate. So their team.
If Aaron Donald goes, I think I'm done too. All right, this was fun. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
We got us one, huh? We got us one.
Two, got one. That's not bad.
I mean, the only time I've ever seen a successful walk-off of let's go for two was the last time the Patriots went back-to-back, because everybody knew that Charlie Weiss and Romeo Crennel and Charlie Weiss, they both knew that both those guys were leaving and getting head coaching gigs. So it's just like, let's go see if we can go back-to-back. This will be our third one. We'll be a dynasty, and they actually did it. And then they left, and then the Patriots, not like they struggled for a little bit, but, they had to regain their footing. Josh McDaniels became a thing. Again, huge numbers, but no Super Bowl titles for 9 seasons. So it's interesting. It's interesting with these.
Now, I'm interested to see how Lovie Smith does, talking about coaching and all that. Like, he hasn't coached in a while, and he's come back into this wild-ass situation with the Texans, but he actually has some talent on that roster, and Lovie Smith. He's an intense dude. I mean, this guy took a team with Sexy Rexy to the Super Bowl. Like, I've seen that guy throw 6 interceptions in the game, and they won, obviously because of their defense at Devin Hester. But I'm really interested to see what he does, because everyone's shitting on the Texans right now, as they should.
I'm not.
But he's someone who changes the temperature, so I'm not shitting on him as much. I'm interested to see what's going down.
So last week, me and Nice had a big long segment show. I just made up segments, and me and Nice went through it. It was hilarious, and one of them was sleeper pick in the AFC, and mine was the Texans. I was like, don't sleep on them to possibly, because I looked at their schedule, to possibly get a wild card. Because we like Dougie Davis-Mills a lot.
I like Davis Mills. Like him a lot. Like him a lot.
A lot. And then,
I'm sad for that rookie wide receiver who found out he had.
Yeah, this is true. And then we're also going to see the Titans take a step backwards. No A.J. Brown, Teams are just going to load up the box on Derrick Henry and force Tannehill to prove that they can beat him. That he can beat them with no wide receivers. Jonnu Smith is gone too, so like, who is he really throwing it to? Derrick Henry, good luck, dude. You're going to have 10 men in the box all season.
Well, he's going to have that rookie. I mean, you get rid of A.J. Brown, then you get a rookie who's in the same mold as A.J. Brown, but not the experience.
Well, it's not only the experience. A.J. Brown was an effective blocker. So he worked in the Titans offense, not only as a wide receiver, as a big-bodied physical blocker. If you're going to replace A.J. Brown, you have to replace that part also, especially in that offense. Like, you have to do that. So that's going to be his biggest test to me. You know, he's a big, fast guy who catches touchdowns and gets numbers in college. Well, you could probably do that there, but that's the other part. Can you mentally figure it out what you're supposed to do and when, and are you going to be able to block? Because in that offense, you're going to have to. The running back's getting 400 carries a season. You're going to have a lot of blocking ahead of you.
And do you know your hot routes?
Yeah.
Because they're going to blitz the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to be able to utilize all that downfield speed. You're going to have to learn how to do them quick slants, quick ass outs. You know what I'm saying? And try to turn them into something with your speed.
All that. Roger Harper.
Yo.
I think Zeke has given up on the vegan diet. He is back to looking fat again. This is... I know everyone's just like, yo, he looks too heavy. I'm just like, no. He's supposed to run. He's one of those guys. He just built like that. He needs to have that weight on him. He was running so soft last year, eating all those Brussels sprouts and whatnot, whatever, the chickpea burgers and whatever the fuck he was eating.
Yeah, easy to tackle, easy to bring him down. Pick that weight back up. He's able to run and rumble.
They need that, especially.
Yeah, because he's what Pollard was doing.
That's what I just said, Kerry. Like Pollard over there eating cheesesteaks in front of him, getting all the carries at one. Like Zeke,
eating that chicken fried steak. You know what I'm saying? He eating all that. Mashed potatoes, black-eyed peas, eating all that. And turn them shits into yards.
Yeah, that's good for him, though, because we talked about it at length last year. This guy needs to regain his weight, especially as a running back. You can't go from a power physical back to being like, nah, I'm gonna dance in the. Nah, I got nice feet. Watch what I'm gonna do in the hole. No.
You know what's funny? He had the quietest 1,000-yard season I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know he got 1,000 yards until the other day. I said, "Oh shit, he did." It didn't even feel like it because it wasn't impactful.
Kerry, I didn't know he had 1,000 yards until you just told me.
Yep.
Like you said, it had zero impact.
Way more impactful.
Zero impact on the actual game itself, which is a lot of Dak's throwing numbers. They don't really have an impact on the game, and that's a big problem, and it always has been. So honestly, we talked about it last season and the year before, especially when Dak was hurt. Like, go fresh start, go somewhere else. Seattle would have been great because, you know, they knew Russ was leaving. You can go up there and start. It's a whole different culture, a different vibe. You know, go start completely
and they would
new.
Embrace him. They would embrace him in Seattle, big time.
Yeah, that's
More
what
than they do in Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it would have worked there. Like, you now look at Baker down in Carolina. I know it's going to work. I've been in Baker's corner from the start, and if he's healthy, he is a top half of the NFL quarterback. So, it's hard to get a quarterback who's effective. Yeah.
They were already embracing him in Carolina already. And speaking of what you're gonna do, Browns, because you got to give Briskets snaps, but at the same time, you still got to give Watson snaps, even though you know for sure he's gonna be gone 6 and quite possibly the whole season. But you still need to get him some work. So, I mean, that's a crazy situation out there because that is just the one position they need to make a serious run at the title.
So that's
it.
That's
they
why
got everything else.
That's why when Kareem Hunt said, "I want traded," because they're going to. Chubb needs to be featured more. He's the best running back in football at times.
Yes.
So that's why the Jimmy G for Kareem Hunt thing was a big deal because Jimmy G can just be there for the year. Sign a 1-year deal. That is an upgrade from Briskets. Is it really? I don't think it is because Briskets doesn't get hurt. Jimmy G does.
Right. Yes.
And then numbers-wise, Kerry, is it really an upgrade numbers-wise? No, it's not at all.
Not really. Nope.
200 yards a game. That's all you're going to get from Jimmy G. That's it.
It was like Jimmy G threw 3 times in one game in the playoffs, and they won because his coach protected him. But if you're Kareem Hunt, I understand. Like, you're in a primo situation, bro. I mean, I'm thinking long range. First of all, you're on a team that could quite possibly win the chip, but also you have a stud, and you're stud 1A. So think about your longevity and health. He's taking punishment that you don't have to take. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd be so quick to move. Plus, you fucked up in Cleveland a couple of times after that other situation, and them popos let you go. They let you go.
Well, you know what his mindset is. His mindset is, I'm at this age, my window is 3 to 4 years to max it. But I look at it like, you remember when Carolina had the best backfield in football?
D'Angelo and
Foster.
Yes.
And they didn't they play together? Williams. Didn't they play? Foster was before them. Didn't they play together? It was 7-8 years.
And they were monsters.
Yeah.
It was a two-head freaking monster. They were terrorizing the league. So it's D'Angelo Williams and that other cat. Oh, he's slipping my mind right now. I'm crazy. Somebody out watching. Look that up.
But yeah, they had the best backfield in football. The Browns, they need that. That is their offensive identity.
Yeah. He could still put up numbers. They could be problematic.
Yo, so let me ask you guys. This is Browns being the Browns. Their whole identity last season, all of their success in the years before that and recently has been in the trenches, one of the best offensive lines in football, and running the ball with these two guys, right? And then they have been seeking to flee that identity for years. They're constantly chasing not a quarterback that can fit what they're doing. Imagine if Lamar Jackson said, "Yo, fuck this shit," and ended up in Cleveland.
That'd be great.
It would be unstoppable. Literally unstoppable. But they're constantly...
And that with that defense too? Oh, my God.
So instead of looking for the right quarterback that fits what they have that could get them to a chip, I feel like they're constantly looking for a quarterback to win them a chip. Does that make sense? Because with their roster and their running game and their defense, you don't need a top 4 or 5 quarterback to win a chip. You need a top 10 one, of course. But you don't need to have Tom Brady. You don't need...
Dilfer has a Super Bowl ring.
That's what I'm saying, Kerry.
Brad Johnson has a Super Bowl ring.
That's what I'm saying, Kerry.
Okay?
With a team like that, they just need the right quarterback to win a chip.
Yeah.
And honestly, Jacoby Brisket is perfect. If they just rock with it and just be like, yeah, this is what we're doing. We don't need nobody else. Deshaun, you're done for the year. This is our guy for the year.
And from what I've heard of the locker room, they're good with Jacoby. They're like, yeah, we seen him, we like him, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, we know what the situation. If he's in there, we're fine. We can still do this.
Yeah.
There's no reason why he still can't win.
All right, so if you have Brisket at quarterback and your roster stays healthy, that's a championship level team.
Sure.
And it's just I feel like they're constantly looking for a piece that's not necessarily what they need to win a championship at this particular window
That's
that
what
they
I'm saying.
have.
Kareem Hunt just needs to chill out. Kareem Hunt just needs to chill out. At least this season, just chill out. You have a legitimate shot at a chip this year. Chill.
You know what the Browns need to do to guarantee success, Kerry? They need to sign Tyrod Taylor for the year. Let Deshaun Watson sit out for the whole season. They'd win the Super Bowl the next year. Tyrod knows what the...
You're gonna say leave.
Nah, Tyrod knows what the deal is.
He does. done this.
He
before.
needs to embrace
he's
this.
He's good luck Chuck.
Like, he needs to embrace this, like, yo, go into, like, contract negotiations, like, yo, you trying to win a chip or not. I don't even need to start week 1. Just a couple weeks in the preseason. It works every time. It's like clockwork. I'm telling you, the fact that he started getting number 1 team, first team reps, which we saw the tape. Roger Harper, I don't know if you saw the tape out of Giants camp of Danny Dum-Dums throwing 5-yard outs to nobody.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
It is bad. Well, both.
Preseason this year?
Yeah, it's like the most basic football throw of all football throws, a 5-yard out comeback. And he threw it about 4 yards in front of the guy in the dirt.
Damn.
With no pressure.
Like it's so bad. I almost think we're gonna see the real Evan Ingram in Jacksonville. He might actually get busy, because there was just so many times he was just so wide open, and I think it surprised him when the ball got. He had some drops, but I think it surprised him that the ball was actually in his vicinity to even put his hands on it at times.
Yo, is Danny Dumbles the new oh man, the left-handed the Jesus quarterback. Fuck, I spoke so much weed. Play for the Broncos. Beat the Steelers in the playoffs.
Oh, Timmy Teebs.
Yeah, is Danny Dumbles the new Tebow?
No, because Tebow, like, his athleticism, he knew what to do. Like, he wouldn't stumble when a wide open end zone in front of him.
Yes, but Danny Dumbles
happen.
has had the fastest quarterback's on-field speed for the last couple seasons. He could run. It's just
listen, turnover turn. It's terrible.
Yo, he's just, that's really bad, man. He's just, I don't know what you guys are doing. I've been saying it for years. I have no fucking clue what you're doing with this. He's been a bum from day one. What? 5 seasons. 5, Kerry.
This is my whole point. They're on that old school bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Because they knew the guy, Cutcliffe, and down with the Mannings and all. Who gives a shit? You get. You're gonna make me upset. I don't even want to say his name. We knew what quarterback we were supposed to get, and he's playing for the damn Chargers right now.
Yes, he
Supposed waiting.
He is our gray batter favorite quarterback.
Man.
Yeah, man. The golden boy himself, who is going to have an outrageous season.
I know.
Just
he's gonna be up for MVP this year.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah. Especially if their coaching staff can take a step forward and they remove themselves off the horsemen of the NFL apocalypse list, where the Chargers always collapse. It's like clockwork. My entire life, they have collapsed. My whole life, Roger Harper, they have collapsed at the end of the season and when it matters.
It's like they snatch losses from the jaws of victory.
Yeah,
they really, really have done that historically. It's crazy. Crazy.
It blows my mind, and it's just like, this is the one guy who has to break this. And even though his first 2 seasons, they keep doing the same shit, blowing games late and blowing the season late.
Playoffs, yeah.
And then last year was just typical Chargers, blowing the decision late. They weren't going to kick that field goal, and you fucking called a timeout, and they said, yeah, fuck it, let's kick it anyway, and then you lose.
Exactly.
Like,
when he called that timeout, I about jumped through that damn screen. It was like he was not going to. What are you doing? Like, this quarterback had one of the most amazing fourth quarters any quarterback has ever played.
Ever. And
you just wasted everybody's effort. You wasted everybody's effort. It's crazy.
Yo, Kerry, that
I wouldn't look at that. Like, talk about getting respect from a coach. He would have lost mine right there. And we just have a different relationship.
Kerry, that fourth quarter looked like LeBron against the Pistons in the fourth quarter in overtime.
Straight up. It was crazy. No one has ever seen that shit. No one's ever seen that shit before.
Ever. We've never seen someone just continually get fourth down conversions, fourth and
I've seen
long,
that.
over and over and over and over, and you knew it was happening. Yeah, he's getting it's fourth down. I actually remember texting Carrie while it was happening when they would hit fourth down. All right, it's fourth down. He's going to get it. Like, you knew first, second, and third, it wasn't happening.
So straight up and down, that is why the head coach, well, the former head coach, was not going to kick it. He was like, yo, I just respect what that kid did. Like, I ain't kicking it. Yo, he deserves to be in the postseason. But the stupid-ass coach fucked it.
And
that was respect for Justin Herbert right there. That's why they wasn't going to do it. It was respect for him.
And Roger, it was an analytics decision because he said that gave us the best chance to win the game with the time that was left. It was just like, no, your best chance was in overtime and actually the playoffs. Like,
and see, that's it. That's where the analytics is like stupid. Like, believe it or not, you gotta. Where's your eye test? You just gotta have like common sense. You look across the field, and you already know he's not gonna kick that. He's not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Just like with Hoodie. Just like with Hoodie knew what Carroll was gonna do. He looked across the field, and it's like, you're gonna throw it, dumbass. All right. Like this. That's where the analytics you got, pause with all. I see where it has its place. But, I mean, this is football. This is coaching. This is feel. You got to feel the damn game. Analytics don't feel the game.
Yeah, Roger Harper, that Hoodie story goes that whenever the Seahawks got down to the goal line and the Patriots didn't call a timeout, you could watch the film. Belichick is literally just staring at Pete Carroll, and they ask him a long time later, why you didn't call a timeout, and he said, I seen that look on Pete Carroll's face before, because he did the same thing at USC when he blew that decision in the national title game, and he's just like, I saw that look before and I knew he was going to do that to himself, so I just let him. See, that's mastery. That's not analytics. That's just like, that's the feel for the game. Like, you're also playing this guy. Like, these are people that you're playing. They're not numbers and algorithms and whatnot. There's a human element to the game itself and to the performance that the analytics don't take into effect at all.
Straight up.
It's nuts. I'm not an analytics guy. I hate the shit. It's changed every single sport that it's touched.
Every single one.
The first one was baseball with Moneyball with the Oakland A's, and now every baseball player literally worries about launch angle and exit velocity. And they're told to just swing away. They'll have, it's either a strikeout or a home run. That's basically the game.
And starting pitchers rarely go past 6 fucking innings anymore.
That's because
what is that?
They're all coming in.
What is that?
Especially the relievers come in and they throw 12 pitches at 104 miles an hour, and then the next guy comes in and does the same thing. So it's changed baseball, which I didn't even like baseball before, but now it's completely unwatchable. Completely unwatchable. So
I've watched Mike Gooden and Mike Scott from the Astros go 11, 12 innings apiece because the Mets needed to beat the Astros, and you had their 2 best pitchers out on the mound, and they not leaving.
Man, Sandy,
40-plus-year-old Nolan Ryan go 12 innings.
Man,
come on, man.
Kerry, Sandy Koufax pitched both ends of a doubleheader. Like, come on.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it.
Roger Harper, are you kidding? Both games of a doubleheader? Are you serious?
That's crazy.
That's like Dion playing football, professional football, and baseball in the same day.
Yeah.
Which he's done. Yo, come on, man. Are you kidding?
Well, that's the same thing. I keep seeing Bo Jackson clips pop up lately of him literally snapping baseball bats like twigs over his head, over his knee, just with his hands. Do you understand how impossible that actually is? And he's just like, ugh. That's ridiculous. All right, so I'm going to end this one early, and we'll re-up and go through the third section and look forward to something. I don't know. I did forget there's only 3 weeks of preseason, so we've only got 2 left. But remember, there's still 4 weeks before the season starts, because that weird off week in between the preseason now, it's not like they go preseason week 4 and then week 1. It goes preseason week 4, and then kickoff week it's not until the next week. So the players there's still time-wise a fourth week. It's just there's no preseason game anymore. It's really fucking weird. As a fan, it's weird because it's like we're used to our whole lifetime preseason, because the preseason fourth game was never a real thing. You never saw anybody play. So now,
well, you saw Cruz play.
Yeah.
Like that fourth game. Like you could find like a diamond in the rough. Like you could find like, you know what I mean? And like some were just fighting for their lives to make that roster. So
yeah, so
like
now that fourth week is now just kind of it's called the roster week. That's where they finalize rosters and whatnot, and you'll see players from other teams who got cut go fill gaps where there's a need and a fit elsewhere. So that's now roster week. So for us as a fan, we still have to wait 3 more weeks until who is it? It's Bills and Rams kickoff this season, right? So I mean, yeah, no, it's Bills and Rams. So that's heavyweights to start it.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Kerry, we're definitely now. I got Roger Harper too here. It'll be good because this is a defensive side of the football guy. We got to go over the greatest defensive players on defense because we did offense the last time that you were here 2 weeks ago. And it's crazy because there's only 5 players on defense. It's not greatest D end, D tackle, middle line. It's greatest linebacker, greatest edge rusher, safety, corner, and tackle. That's it. So it's only 5. So that's a very, very, very short list.
Okay.
It's interesting. And then Roger Harper, now that you're here, we'll go over what you think the greatest players on offense was, because it was hilarious when we went over it with Kerry, because we agreed for the most part on all of them. I think there were a couple that we were just like, I know there were players that we thought should have gotten votes to be considered the greatest of all time that had no consideration whatsoever, which is weird. So, all right, we will see you guys for part 3 in 1 minute. All right. I hate this thing with Zoom. This is why I got to find a new outlet. Yo, Bricks, I feel sorry for you as a Jets fan. You know, Mobb Deep Studios in Queens, man, I was in Jets country for 7 years. And it was crazy. So, like, the first 3 Patriots Super Bowls, I did not live in New York. I actually lived in Boston. And then when I moved to New York, that's when they started losing Super Bowls to the Giants. So not only was I in Jets country, I'm in Jets country as a Patriots fan when they lose Super Bowls to the fucking Giants, which fucking sucked. And then by the time they started winning Super Bowls again, we were well out of Queens and Jets country and whatnot. So my time in Queens as a Patriots fan was not a successful one. I was living off of past glory the entire time. Let's see if I can find this thing that I'm actually looking for. Roger Harper with the quick draw. Yo, so I got you on here. I can talk to you in person. Yo, so next year we are 1,000% going. You have to go with me.
To the golf.
Yo, that shit was so much fun. Like,
wow.
Yo, that shit is really a festival on a golf course.
Really?
Dude, they built bars on the golf course. So like as you're walking along while you're watching golfers play, you can just like, oh, here's a bar right here.
Wow.
They had food trucks. They had DJs on the course playing music. There's like it's loud. There's shit going on the whole time. It's not quiet.
Wow. Those guys just got the course ruled with the PGA, huh?
Yeah, but so the other dope thing about going is two of my people work for Live.
Oh, okay.
So, I didn't walk. I rode in the cart the entire time. I was just kicking it.
Damn, that's what's up.
But they told me also that when the PGA season is over, a bunch of players are going to jump over to Live. It's just like, hey, they're getting $100 million guaranteed to play. Why wouldn't you go?
Exactly.
I can understand. So here's the weird thing.
So those guys aren't going to be able to come back and play, I heard, either.
Yeah, who cares?
They got their $100 million, they good.
So, Roger, all right, so the point as a professional athlete, there are those few who realistically are chasing, like, ghosts. They're chasing greatness. Like LeBron is right now, Kobe was while he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
They're chasing, like, greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, a smaller number that are going to achieve like Hall of Fame level. But the majority of athletes are there because it's like, this is how I pay my bills and whatnot. The goal is to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if, as a professional athlete, somebody says to you, all right, if you come and do what you do, I'll give you $100 million for 4 years to do this. That's the whole point of what you're doing, unless you're that very small few. So Tiger's sitting there talking about, like, you should want to chase your legacy and add to the blah, blah, blah. He set the bar so fucking high in golf to reach GOAT status that no one is ever going to be in that discussion. So why the fuck wouldn't you go? And Roger Harper, Tiger Woods spent 520 some weeks at number one consecutive. All right, so that's never, ever, ever going to happen again, ever, right? So, in that time, he only made $112 million in golf money. Wow. These guys are getting $100 and $200 million up front. If you're not the very few who is like, yeah, I'm trying to beat that guy, why wouldn't you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why wouldn't you? So it's crazy because the PGA just shitted out $160 million for these guys out of nowhere. Like, oh, yeah, we got more money to give you guys. Just like, where was that money? But you still have to go win it. There's no guarantees. This is guaranteed money to go. Yo, Roger Harper, that shit was so much fun. Those players are already paid. Yeah, they're trying to win. They were playing really well, but, they also, like, they actually talk to each other while they're playing.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, yo, that was a good shot. They're, like, talking instead of just being, like, so quiet and locked in. Yo, and then there was a concert after the round of golf.
I know, I missed it, man. Damn it.
Wyclef performed at this one.
Wow.
It was, so next year, guys, we're going. There'll be one around New York somewhere. We're going to go. It's dope. We don't have to worry about passes or anything. That's all my homies. But that shit was so much fun, man. It was literally like going to like a college football game on a golf course. And then, all my favorite golfers to watch, they all play for Live anyway. They all left. So, Kerry, that's the other thing. So, like, you go and watch some of these PGA events that are non-majors. Dude, I don't even know who any of these fucking people are because everybody went to Live.
Body bound.
Yeah. Like all those players who would go play in like the 3M Open because, if you win that one, you might get like $3 million, but like you might get a check for getting in the top 10 real quick. But now that they don't have to do that, all those players who would normally get in that one because they're like, oh, this is not everybody who's dope. I might sneak a win out of this one. So like Tony Finau's won the last 2 tournaments in a row. Yeah, that's because the top 12 golfers in front of him all went to live because he can never beat those guys. So, I mean, I was supporting Live from the beginning before I even knew my people worked for it because it's way more fun. And, dude, it's free to watch. You can watch it for free. They don't have sponsors. Everything just says Live everywhere. Dude, Roger Harper, they had girls shooting T-shirt cannons into the crowd while they're playing golf. This isn't like during a break. They're fucking playing the tournament right behind you, and there's a fucking DJ, and it's like, nah, 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 nah. Crowd's going crazy. Trump came out there and was throwing T-shirts into the crowd. It was wild, yo.
Oh, it's crazy.
It was absolutely, and I'm like, this is a golf tournament. I love it. I love this shit.
I'm definitely there. You let me know what's up.
Yeah, 100%. We have to go just because it's a fucking spectacle. And honestly, you know, Roger, I know you're playing golf now. Dude, this is like the best players on the planet. Watching them do it, it's just like, it's fucking impressive.
Wow.
Because they put no effort into it whatsoever, and the ball goes an absolute fucking mile. Every single one of them.
Oh, I bet. Shit.
So much fun though, man. And dude, I ate 1,000 milligrams during the round.
Feeling real good.
Well, because you couldn't smoke because Trump was there, so they had the Secret Service there.
Oh, okay.
So they weren't allowing you to smoke weed on the course, and I was just like, fuck. So my homie gave me a box from Cali of 1,000 milligrams. Yo, I ate that entire shit during the round. Like I said, yo, my people worked there. I didn't have to walk. I got to ride in a cart. I didn't even have to drive it. I just got to sit there the whole time.
Nice.
Shit was dope, man. We're definitely going to go. Darko, what up? As a Colts fan, you should be pumped for this season because, A, the Titans are taking a step back like we have all predicted, and you guys got the perfect quarterback to fix the one thing that you were missing last year is a quarterback who doesn't do dumb shit because Carson Wentz, all he does is dumb shit. That's why the Commanders, it's going to be hilarious watching them play this year because that guy he's the Tasmanian devil of football. He just kind of spins in circles and then the ball just comes out sometimes.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Manny Pacquiao because Pacquiao just punches coming from, he just spins this all awkward and shit. Dude, come on. Roger Harper, last season, he was getting sacked by Aaron fucking Donald, a Mount Rushmore level football player. Had him by both ankles, and he tried to throw it left-handed backwards over his head from the 1 yard line.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Like, what kind of decision? See, this is what I'm talking about, the levels of quarterback play. There's a decision making that has to happen. It has to be the right one and very quickly in about 3 seconds. And the ones who are the best and the young ones who are excelling, Mac Jones, Justin Herbert, are the ones who process information very quickly. Patrick Mahomes has said he's in, season 5 now this year, right? Or is this 6? It's either 5 or 6. He said that last year was the first year that he actually started to understand how to break down defenses.
Right.
And he was already won a Super Bowl at that time. That was just on pure talent and ability. That's like Aaron Rodgers getting one early. That was just on sheer throwing ability. And it's just like he's just now figuring it out to his own admission. And Mac Jones, Justin Herbert, instantly Joe Burrow. Process information very quickly and then make the proper decision. And the proper decision might be to just go to your guy. See, that's another thing. They're not going to. They also take risks, though. Joe Burrow was throwing it. Chase, go get this. Tom Brady was throwing it to Gronk. Go ahead and see if you can out one-on-one Gronk. I dare you. You know, Herbert's got Williams and Keenan Allen. So these guys are going to go up with it. So they're not so
They got that other receiver too. I like, who had a couple good games. You know who I'm talking about because I like them too.
Yeah. Him and Parnham is their tight end who's going to have a step forward.
Oh, Parnham.
So, Matt Ryan, he doesn't make bad decisions per se. He just doesn't beat teams with quarterbacks who are better than him. Which, honestly, he's not. There aren't too many teams that have quarterbacks better than him. But the ones who do beat his teams when it counts. And that's always been his one downfall. So, I mean, the other issue that the Colts have is wide receiver depth. They didn't sign anybody. They didn't sign anyone, and they've had multiple too fast for death. Josh Palmer, Kerry. From Tennessee.
Yep, Palmer. Yep, like that guy.
See, this is why I like having people watch this because they can answer the questions that I have.
No.
Because I'm too high to remember Joshua Palmer, even though I watch every single snaps that the Chargers play. So,
what was the other running back that played with D'Angelo Williams in Carolina? Jonathan Stewart. Bam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stewart.
Boom.
Like I said, Foster was before them with Jake Delhomme.
Yeah. It was Foster and the other running back.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. But yeah.
Stephen
Davis. But yeah, that second iteration of the two-headed monster in Carolina was Madden gold. Just line them up and run it with those two.
No, and John Madden loved them.
Yeah.
He loved that team.
Boom.
Loved that team.
Boom.
Oh, man. So dope.
I'm trying to find the list, Roger, but we can remember some of them. So, Roger, who do you think, we'll go through the offense, the greatest football players of all time at these particular parts of football? So, quarterback, it's pretty easy.
Brett Favre?
No, it's Tom Brady. Come on.
Oh shit! You talking current, like right now? Okay.
No, of all time. This was
all time.
Yeah, this is a list that they put up of
Tom Brady.
Yeah, so Tom Brady, and come on, the numbers, and it's not even the numbers, it's the achievements that are so beyond anything. That's running back. Try to remember who it was.
Walter Payton.
It was Jim Brown.
Oh, Jim Brown.
Okay.
Walter Payton. Barry Sanders was second, and Walter Payton was third. LaDainian Tomlinson had a vote, which we thought was weird, even though we love that guy as the greatest of all time. Really?
No.
Yeah, that one was just like, who voted? Who did that? Did LT get a vote? Did he just vote for himself?
There's only one else.
Yeah, we know that.
Wide receivers.
Wide receiver, it was Jerry.
Right.
Yeah. Randy Moss was second, which makes sense. Tight end, I'm not surprised, but as far as people actually saying he's the greatest of all time, there's a lot of people who don't want to give Gronk the greatest of all time label for some reason, and I don't get it. He was the best in football at both sides of being a tight end the entire time he was in football. He blocked better than any tight end in football by a mile and was the most dominant pass-catching tight end and clutch when it mattered most in football the whole time he was there. So Tony Gonzalez getting votes made sense because of the sheer numbers and the length of time that he played football.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
The tackle was Munoz, wasn't it?
Yeah, Anthony Munoz.
Orlando Pace.
He was second on the list.
Lando.
And what was the guy from Seattle? Walter Jones.
Yeah.
He was on that list. The guard was Cowboys from the 80s. Late 80s, 90s.
Larry.
Yeah.
Larry Allen.
Yeah, Larry Allen was the guard.
Easily Larry Allen.
Yeah, that one was
That was a monster.
that one was easy.
Too easy.
Center was Kerry. This was the one I might not remember.
It was the tricky one. There was like who?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were all like, Okay, I guess. Fuck.
Webster.
He was not, but he was on the list. Mike Webster was on the list. Dermontti Dawson was on the list.
Okay.
Should have had Bardo.
I forget. It's a center. I'm never going to remember that shit. Were there any other ones on offense? Because it's not every single. It's not like 2 wide receivers. It's only 1. I think that's all of them. I think they might have had a fullback. Yeah, they did, because I remember seeing O'Neal.
That's Riggins.
Riggins.
Yeah, because I remember O'Neal from the Chargers was on the list. Lorenzo O'Neal, because he's literally blocked for 1,000-yard block or runners every single season and team he's been on. So, all right, so defense. I remember these because there's very few of them. I don't have to look them up. So it was outside linebacker, which
LT.
Like, there shouldn't have been any other votes besides LT. But you would have saw on defense, the writers, there was always that one guy who had a legacy player, like Deacon Jones. You know, like, always that, nah, it's from the old school. They paved the way. And it's like, no, Lawrence Taylor changed the way football is played. The whole game. Reggie White. Yeah. Reggie White was second on the defensive end.
Okay.
List. Defensive tackle, who was it? Interior lineman. I know Warren Sapp was on the list in the bottom. Maybe it was.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it was. No, it was Aaron Donald.
Oh, yeah, Aaron Donald. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one current player who was on the list was Aaron Donald, and it was like he had almost all the votes, which we were kind of like, all right, he's getting his respect. Because
I don't hate that at all.
No, J.J. Watt was on there, on the bottom of that list for a vote, I think. Linebacker was
4 or 5. Unstoppable.
Yeah, linebacker was
Lewis.
Yeah. That was pretty easy. I think the old time guy always had somebody else.
Sure.
And then safety was
Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, see, this is the one where we didn't agree with it. It was Ronnie Lott, but me and Nice both said, yeah, it should have been Ed Reed.
Ed Reed.
Yeah, I would have taken easy Ed. I would have taken easy Ed.
I'm taking Ed Reed over anybody, even though it's more fun to watch Troy Polamalu play.
I forgot about Troy.
The only one who, like, special mention, like Sean Taylor, like, because I would have just wanted to see what his career could have been.
100%.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kerry, you know I always make sure that I mention his name in the top safeties list so that people who see this, who might not know, just go and watch the very short film that you had of Sean Taylor, and you'll be like, oh, he was better than everybody else on the field.
He was next up. He was like the shit. Like, forget it.
So the other one that we thought was kind of controversial, and this is not because of who was the position, is who was behind him. So Dion was the corner, which it should have been.
Yes.
But the number 2 spot behind him, Nice, because he's a Jets fan, was it should have been Revis. See, look at all of us.
Revis.
I said Darryl Green. Was it Darryl Green?
No, it was Charles Woodson.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The only reason why Woodson, because he switched positions.
Well, Charles Woodson was 3rd. And I'm like, where the fuck is Revis on this list?
Oh, so, wait. So who?
Yeah, see? This is why me and Nice were like, wait a minute, who voted on this?
Wait, okay, who was second?
Charles Woodson.
So Charles Woodson was second. Who was 3rd?
Rod Woodson.
Rod Woodson.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were like, why is Revis not number 2?
Oh, yeah, nah. I love Rod Woodson, but like I felt like Rod Woodson was actually more impactful as a safety.
I feel like both of those players having half of their career and
in different positions. Yeah.
the defining.
To go to Reed,
Well, not only that,
Harold,
Kerry, I look at it as the defining, at least for Charles Woodson, that's the defining stages of his career because he won a Super Bowl and Defensive Player of the Year at safety.
Yeah.
You know, so I look at him as a safety before a corner. So this
You
is
can almost make a case for Nate Williams. Shit.
so this is why me and Nice talked about this for at length. So, I get it. It's kind of like Revis is like Mike Tyson. There was a small window, and it was 5 years for Revis, where he played the position better than anyone had ever played it in history. But it was only 5 years. So I get it, and you're not going to be above Dion. That's impossible at corner if you're only picking one.
I ain't happy.
But to have Revis at fourth was absolute and total disrespect.
Wow.
So Nice started throwing out numbers in his season.
Have Night Train Lane over him.
Yo, Kerry, in a season when Calvin Johnson, Megatron, went for nearly 2,000 yards, Revis held him to 61 yards. In a same year that he had multiple games of 200 yards and a 300-yard game as a wide receiver when he's being triple teamed. Revis held him to 61 yards by himself. This is a level that has never been achieved because Revis also had run game support. He would hit you and would make you, he was punishing you. You could count on him in the run game. But ever since Dion, he's the only corner besides Dion that has ever actually shut down an entire side of an offense because you're just not going to take the risk of throwing it to him. So how the fuck was he at 4?
That's crazy.
He played at the highest level possible. Dion didn't even play at that level of corner because Dion was not going to hit you. Revis was going to come up and thump you and cause turnovers. So, absolutely nuts that he was 4. So, special teams was easy. It was super easy.
Devin Hester.
Yeah, returner, Devin Hester. He's a 100 all-time greatest football player, and all he did is return kicks. You are ridiculous.
He should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Easily, and so should the other guy, Adam Vinatieri at kicker. Are you kidding me?
Oh, if it's not Adam Vinatieri, it's definitely Tucker when he retires.
Yeah, Tucker was.
Kicker's a first.
Yeah, he was number 2, but Adam Vinatieri gets it because of the level of kicks that he's made.
Sure.
And he
Adam Vinatieri.
He also gets the single greatest field goal in football history in the snow game against the Raiders. A foot of snow, he kicked a 45-yard field goal in a blizzard.
Well, they did run that plow over it real quick. When
Yeah.
they were clearing it out when they was supposed to.
I know they was like, hey, see, that's the Raiders fucking up because the Raiders called timeout to ice the game, and they gave them time to go clean out a spot to kick from. See?
They sure did. Yep, they sure did.
You don't ruin yourself. So, yeah, it's funny because, like the greatest of all time in basketball always comes down to, like, one player. Rarely does it go down to positional. It's either LeBron or Mike at this point. If you do break it down to positional, it's pretty much consensus. Mike is at shooting guard. Tim Duncan's a power forward. Everyone knows this shit. They'll always have Russell or Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at center. Somebody might say Hakeem or Shaq, but it's very limited.
I'll take Kareem.
In the point guards, it comes down to a very small number. Magic Johnson should be in anybody's eyes, but if you think of anybody else,
Kobe.
I mean, it's just Magic had so much success title-wise, too, that the other best point guards of all time never had. So that's like he puts himself way above them. But in football, you do have to go down to, like, positional because there's so many different things that you do. And it's pretty much consensus throughout football of who are the greatest of all time. The players have pretty much separated themselves so far above everyone else that it's like, I can see that. Like, come on, Dion, LT, Ray Lewis, Tom Brady, Gronk, Aaron Donald, Adam Vinatieri, Devin Hester. These are like, everyone knows these are the greatest of all time at these particular things that they did. There's little to no debate whatsoever. In basketball, there will be a never-ending debate on who the greatest is. So in golf, you still have the old head saying it's Jack because he still has the total wins, the Masters. I mean the majors number. He still owns that number. All the kids are going to say, and all of us, our generation, is like, did you watch Tiger play golf? Did you not?
He's the reason why I started watching golf.
Like Jack Nicklaus he wasn't beating the people he was playing by 23 strokes in a major. Like Tiger was so much better than everyone else. That's why I look at the Rivas thing. I look at it like Tiger's window. Yeah, he doesn't have all of the numbers. Rivas does have Super Bowl wins, but it was more on a Deion Sanders, let's go get a couple Super Bowl titles. I want to be rented for a year and go get these. And it worked. And it solidifies you because in the lens of history, you're only going to look at the achievements. And one of the first one at the top is going to be two-time Super Bowl winner. And in both Deion and Rivas's case, they were the major reason in those teams winning Super Bowls. It's just like, all right, let's go do this. Especially with Deion. When he went to the Niners, you knew they were going to win. Like, he goes and wins.
When he went to the Cowboys, I knew they were going to win.
He went to the Cowboys. We all knew, oh, well, if you got him, you're going to win. Yo, when the Patriots got Rivas, all of us knew it. Everyone alive knew it. Yeah, there's no way they're not winning this one. Like, are you kidding me? They got this guy now? That's not fair. So, yeah.
Speaking of corn, Hakeem Talib, did you hear what his fucking brother did?
Yes, we can go over a couple people that this has happened to the NFL. So, there's video of Hakeem Talib's brother because the video went viral. I guess somebody he went to go, I don't know, he killed an assistant coach in a youth league football game during the game with the kids all there, shot him.
Damn.
Yeah. So
could have shot the kids too.
Yeah. So Dalvin Cook's brother also just got arrested for murder charges. Not the one who plays for the Bills, but his younger brother.
Come on. What the fuck is wrong with these? Like, for what?
So, okay, so...
Why are you even bringing heat to a Little League football game to begin with?
It's stupid. So
let's start with that one.
I feel like there's two possible angles that they might be thinking. One is, I have a successful NFL brother. I can do whatever the fuck I want. A la Mike Vick's brother, Marcus, who was down there bugging the fuck out. Like, I'm untouchable down here. Or, I have a successful NFL brother. Fuck this shit. Like, he's always been the favorite. He's always been number one. He's always been successful. And I ain't do shit with myself. Fuck this shit. But, yeah, two of them in the same week. So, Dalvin Cook, look for his early season numbers to be diminished because you've got this legal shit clouding over your head and you're a successful NFL running back who has signed probably between $30 and $50 million worth of NFL contracts at this point for Dalvin Cook. Who do you think's paying for his lawyer?
Yeah, sure.
And his youngest, the middle brother, just got signed to the Bills. So now he's going to start making NFL money. And these rookies are making more money than any rookies really ever have, except for that couple-year run where rookies were getting $100 million and flaming out.
Yeah.
But now, since the new, new bargaining agreement and all that shit, and the structured rookie pay, these rookies are finding other ways to make money. And these NFL franchises are finding newer ways to work around these fictional numbers that are the salary cap. And find ways to get you money and bonuses and player performances and like all this shit. And so they're getting more money than they were for the last 10 to 15 years. So, who do you think's paying for his lawyer unless they both look at it and be like, nah, you're on your own on this one, homie. But if that's your brother and you have the money, wouldn't you try to get them the best possible scenario you would? It's your brother, And how is that not going to hang over the season for you.
But if I'm Akeem Talib, I ain't paying for my brother's shit.
Yeah, Akeem Talib don't play football no more. He's like, yo, fuck that shit. And you saw the video. Like, the video's there. We all saw you.
I'm not backing my play, brother or not. I'm not backing that play.
Plus, Akeem Talib has a podcast and is an analyst now, and a pretty good one. And he's getting, like, game day gigs on NFL Network and whatnot as a game analyst.
He was there, too. He was there at that game, too.
So, I mean, you know what the media is going to say if we all see the video. This is like Ray Rice. This is why he's never played again, because we saw it. All those other NFL players who committed crimes, we didn't really get to see it. So there's always that speculation aspect. We saw this. We saw this video of this guy shooting him at a youth football game in front of kids. If Akeem Talib comes out and publicly defends him and pays for it, the companies who are representing him or that he represent professionally are going to be like, nah, bro, we got to sever ties with you. Because we can't do that. Any social media campaign coming back against us is too much. We can't do it. So Akeem Talib's not going to fuck this shit up. You're like, nope, you're on your own. Fuck you. I'm good on that shit. Which is nuts, man. I just like, you know, I saw there's a movie coming out about Manti Te'o and his fake girlfriend.
Oh boy.
Like they did like an actual movie about it.
Wow.
So should be interesting to see what the real story of this all is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because they were talking about today, and we were looking. He's not in football anymore, so it makes sense that this documentary is like coming out now. But he actually was up in the league until 2019. He was still playing.
Yeah, for the Saints, I think his last team was.
Yeah, he had a couple successful years for the Chargers, and then went somewhere else and played a little bit, and then that was it. That's a big cloud to be able to climb out from underneath of. You would have to have.
Looking for this man. His name.
You would have to.
They're looking for him still too, huh?
Yeah.
They still looking for him.
Yeah, you would have to play it like so. And I hate to use this example because A, he's not here, and B, the example sucks. But when Kobe had his rape charges, he played the best basketball he has ever played in his life. He went on that 40-point run of like 18 games in a row that hadn't been done since Wilt did it or something like that. And it's just like he was playing for his freedom, because everybody knows if he went out there and played terrible, oh, what's on your mind, Kobe?
Mm-hmm.
What you thinking about, Kobe? Yeah. Yeah, man. So you need to have like I'm
gonna make you love me, baby.
You have to come out with the Kobe mentality of like, nah, man, I'm gonna play better than I ever have before and just rewrite the narrative.
Absolutely.
Because as soon as you start playing terrible, the first thing that comes up is questions. Oh, why are you not playing at what you're capable of doing? So Dalvin Cook and who was the other guy? Fuck.
Akeem Talib's brother.
Well, yeah, he's not in the league anymore. But Dalvin Cook, you're currently playing, and now you have to deal with that. So, absolutely nuts. Control your emotions on the sidelines of youth football, people.
Seriously. It ain't that serious.
It is definitely not that serious. So, let's see. Next week will be the end of preseason. So that also means by this time that we talk next week, they'll have roster cut down. So it will be what's the second cut down from 70? No, it went from 90 to 86 today, or 82, something like that. And then it goes down to what? It's something in the 63.
Yeah.
And then
something like that.
And then you have to go down to game day rosters and practice squad rosters. 53, and then game days, what, you said 43?
Mm-hmm.
So then you'll have your practice squad players, which is, a bunch of the younger guys who showed some promise, and they just don't have spots for them yet. Which I'm always intrigued, because the length of the NFL season means that you're going to see practice squad players get called up. Absolutely. So since they've expanded the practice squad roster into the teens and also the length of the season, this is kind of like your minor league. It's like your farm system is your practice squad now. Mm-hmm. To where Roger Harper, you remember it used to be like, what was it, like 4 players were on your practice squad? 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. You get 6 total for the practice team, and one of them has to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
So you've really only got 5. So that used to blow my mind. Now they have like almost enough to have like a dummy squad on both sides of the ball, which I think they should. I think you should be able to have 22 players on your practice team because you don't need special teamers. Those guys can kick for you all day. But you should have a practice squad player at each position. You know, which they'll eventually get to. You go to 18 games, you get 2 bye weeks. They'll bump from 16 or whatever it is.
Expand that roster.
Yeah, up to 22.
They get more money anyway.
And the money goes up because now Amazon's in and Apple TV's in, throwing in billion-dollar contracts, and Walmart.
I'm also like, we're going to be watching football 7 days a week during the season then.
100%. And Walmart is jumping into streaming service team-ups. So now, like, when you buy TVs from Walmart, you get free years of streaming on their smart TVs that come from Walmart already in them and whatnot. So Walmart's throwing their money into it because one of the Waltons now owns the Broncos.
That's right.
So he's making NFL moves through his fucking stores already, in which streaming platforms that he inevitably probably has ownership in. So the
this
NFL.
is how folk make money.
Yo,
This is how
the
so on this one play, him getting the Broncos, he's cashing out through the stores, through the subscription, like, so he's cashing out 3 more times off that one play.
Yo, you know how much Broncos merch you're going to be able to find in Walton or Walmart's now?
It's great.
Nuts. He's already the richest owner in sports because he has like $63 billion. He's richer than everybody right now. And it's only going to get crazier. Dude, how the owner of Walmart owns an NFL team. They might as well just become Walmart's might as well just become Denver Broncos locker rooms. It's just going to be Broncos everything. You're going to brainwash America into believing that the Broncos are now America's team. He's finally going to wrestle it away from Jerry Jones. So Roger Harper, we might be on board for this. Let's go Walmart. Let's ride. Let's ride. All right, homies. So I'll see you guys next week. We will be in touch. We'll be in touch with the fantasy pick'ems and the Gray Matter fantasy. And Roger Harper, you already know we need to be in the loop.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Yeah. So Too Fast for Death. They may have cut Huntley, but they got that other backup quarterback who could really play. So Huntley was completely expendable. All right, so I will see you guys Thursday for Beat Boutique. RIPP 333.